Yep, you're live. I'm going to share the link in the group. I think we should wait for a few minutes ताकि लोग join करें फिर हम start करें.
हाँ.
सही.
Mirza, you're looking very serious.
Because there's never-ending work happening side by side, and I'm looking at the screen here, then I'm looking at the laptop.
Don't you know, yaar, Mirza, you're the only one. Bas Ogilvy pe hi kaam hai, baaki sare agencies aisi, you know, they're just chilling. The rest of the agencies are having cigars and, you know, cheering to the sundown.
No, I'm sure everyone has crazy work right now.
Actually, वो उस दिन यही बात हो रही थी तो we said that leather industry, textile industry का तो चलो समझ में आता है. इनकी चूंकि ज्यादातर चीजें एक्सपोर्ट बेस्ड थी तो ये इस वक्त प्रॉब्लम का शिकार हैं. मतलब सर्विस इंडस्ट्री का तो बहुत बुरा हाल है क्योंकि उनके पास काम बहुत ज्यादा है और इतना ज्यादा है कि उनको कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि उन्होंने इसको करना कैसे है. This lockdown is actually not good for us in health wise. We've been working at least 18 hours a day or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's a very tiring situation. There is no concept of weekends at this point of time. It's today, yesterday, and tomorrow.
Yeah, there's no more Monday.
Yeah.
So like you can forget about that, and there's no more Friday evening, right? So those were the two things. One you would dread, one you would look forward to. Now it's not. It's just steady. It's just one steady stream.
In fact, अभी अगर आप देखें तो post iftar जो है, it is the second half.
Yeah, that's true.
जो meetings नहीं हो पाती वो कहते हैं कि post iftar करेंगे तो.
नहीं, before what would happen is 10 साढ़े 10 बजे. हाँ, 10 साढ़े 10 बजे एक ब्रांड मैनेजर का फोन आ जाता था कि यार I'm very sorry to disturb you right now. I know it's late. अब तो 1:50 AM पे फोन आ रहे हैं वो कह रहे हैं यार I'm very sorry. I know it's a little late. I'm just like hi यार थोड़ा सा देर बस it's not a problem.
ज़्यादा नहीं बस थोड़ा सा.
It's okay. It's the new reality.
जी exactly. अब बस दुआ करें ये हो जाए. But surprising part is that Monday से तो market कुछ relax हो रही है if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
so what are your...
No, I don't think it's going back to work not until June. Like I'm not risking anyone.
I don't think so either.
Guys, I've also sent you the link on the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
So you know if you could share those.
Sure.
Yeah, work going in parallel.
Perfect.
But yeah, honestly, June तक लग नहीं रहा कुछ progress होती हुई in terms of any resumption or any sort of normality. का normality तो मुझे year end तक नजर नहीं आ रही, to be very honest. But yeah, कि कुछ जो ये एकदम off balance हो गए in terms of the whole line is blurred in terms of your work life and your personal life. ये भी मुझे normalize होता नजर नहीं आ रहा.
No, there's going to be a new normal. We're never going back to what it was before. I think that's going to be close to impossible.
Yeah, I think we can just wish for it and be happy and think it's all going to be perfectly fine very soon. But it's very difficult because even if some things get fine, we will still be facing a lot of change in behavior. We will still be a little scared for at least another year to meet each other properly. और थोड़ा सा जो है ना वो लोग वैसे ही घबराएंगे अब तो वो there will definitely be a change in the entire every industry basically, even in our life, in advertising industry, in business sector, everywhere there's going to be this change.
Yeah.
Actually, हमारी इंडस्ट्री में तो लास्ट 2 महीने में तो क्विक फिक्सेस किए गए हैं ना in terms of कि बस बहुत ही शॉर्ट टर्म के अंदर हम क्या सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग का मैसेज एम्बेड कर दो, जो है स्टे होम स्टे सेफ जो है ना कहते हैं एम्बेड कर दो. एक्चुअल जो स्ट्रेटेजिक थिंकिंग है वो तो अब स्टार्ट होनी है एक्चुअली, जो हम आगे के जो प्लान्स करेंगे और स्ट्रेटेजिक प्लान्स बनाएंगे, एक्चुअल काम तो अब स्टार्ट होना है.
नहीं, definitely, because if you look at ads of the world and जितने भी brands इस वक्त ads बना रहे हैं all around COVID-19, if you look at their messaging, it's more or less the same because they don't really have an option. What else they can talk about? There's nothing that they can talk about in such a situation. They just have to be very considerate of the tone that you're using, or overall across the board सब same बात कर रहे हैं. So the real challenge now would be how to be different in such situation, because सब चीजों को समझते हुए, understanding your consumer and keeping the sensitivity in your mind, we have to now think of new ideas which we were not expecting कि ऐसे हालात आएंगे, और suddenly it will get so challenging for us. So I think
Umer, I'm sorry to interrupt. Guys, we're going to wait for 3 to 4 more minutes. We have 9 people watching right now.
Sure.
So ऐसे हमारे पास 10 12 हम क्रॉस करें, then Danish bhai, it's all over to you and you can take the show. ठीक है? Perfect.
No problem. And I taking of what Umer is saying, I actually agree. अभी पिछले दिनों वो नहीं एक TVC निकली थी जिसमें कोविड के सारे एड्स को जोड़ा था उन्होंने. Like literally start with the home करके, फिर piano voice, and then even the statements are exactly the same, but there were a lot of brands. So I completely agree with you on this कि इस वक्त तो हमें यही समझ में नहीं आ रही कि सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग, स्टे अवे, स्टे सेफ, स्टे होम, स्टे सेफ वाली, और फिर या फिर वो लोगों को जो 4 जगह से अलग कर देते हैं, बोलते हैं जी सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग हो गई. Other than that, और कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा.
The most funny thing that what happens with us is that we get one brief जो बोलती है कि हमें social distancing पे focus करना है, and we have to talk about all our features and everything that helps our customer, that they can stay home and still be able to do everything, and we do that. उसके ऊपर काफी back and forth होती है, and then the minute we are about to get done and crack something, there's another brief that says the exactly same thing, and now we are again stuck with the same thing. And there are multiple brands, all of them want to be relevant in the situation, which is which is tricky at times. It's a little forced also. So we need to I think it is challenging for every creative, and not just creatives, but for for everyone right now, how to craft these things.
अच्छा, कुछ brands हैं जो दो.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Jibran, sure.
Thanks. कुछ ब्रांड हैं जो 2 महीने से अभी तक अपनी कम्युनिकेशन बना ही रहे हैं, तो उनकी इंटरनली ये बात डिस्कस हो रही है कि यार जल्दी बना लो, इससे पहले कोरोना खत्म ना हो जाए.
एक्चुअली सबने शुरू में रेलेवेंस को जो है ना प्रायोरिटाइज कर दिया कि एटलीस्ट व्हाटएवर वी आर पुटिंग आउटसाइड शुड बी रेलेवेंट टू व्हाट्स हैपनिंग इन द वर्ल्ड एंड व्हाट द सिनेरियो इज. बट कंज्यूमर इनसाइट या कंज्यूमर परसेप्शन के बारे में थॉट प्रोसेस डेवलप करने का टाइम ही नहीं मिला, या कम्युनिकेशन को टेलर करने का टाइम ही नहीं मिला. सो वो एक जर्नी तो अब स्टार्ट हो रही है या चल रही है, बट नोबडी हैज बीन रियली एबल टू क्रैक इट एज येट.
I think सिचुएशन भी ऐसी थी कि nobody was exactly ready for that. मतलब कभी सोचा नहीं था कि इस तरह की सिचुएशंस कुछ ही दिनों में आ जाएगी. अगर हमें ये कोई महीनों में डेवलप होती नजर आती, तो मे भी लोगों ने अपनी कुछ स्ट्रेटजीज वगैरह कुछ क्राफ्ट कर ली होती. इतना अच्छा है कि अपनी जिंदगी में कभी नहीं सुना.
इसमें I know, I'll tell you, I had a hospital as a client. So January में he shared something related to COVID, and just like any other Pakistani, a patriotic Pakistani, I never took it seriously. So I saw the thing and I was like, अभी ये नहीं आनी यहाँ पे, टेंशन नहीं ले, ये सिर्फ चाइना का इशू है.
प्याज और लहसुन खा लेंगे हम तो.
I'm really sorry to interrupt you, Danish bhai. Acha, so it's about time we begin the show.
Agree.
All those who have joined us, thank you very much for joining in. We have 14 people watching right now. तो हमारा आज का topic है to discuss brands and their approaches, their marketing and strategies in this entire COVID-19 ka storm. So we have Danish Ejaz, Talha Hashim, Shehan, Jibran, Siddiqui, and Mirza Umer with us on board. I'm going to give the floor to Danish Ejaz, and he's going to start the entire discussion. और सबका introduction भी वही वहाँ से करवा देते हैं. So over to you, Danish bhai.
So, thank you, Umer. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Danish Ejaz, and surprisingly, it's the initiative that I'm holding these days. Today it's his birthday as well. So I'm in a celebration mode today. I'm CEO of Madvertising, which started as a magazine back in 2017. But last year, the full focus went from magazine to digital marketing and so on and so forth. अभी तक हम उसी पे काम कर रहे हैं. Going ahead further with it, we have a very interesting mix of people today, which are going to be talking about certain brand-related and communication-related topics of COVID era that we are living in, which is the new normal these days. So we have Jibran Siddiqui. Jibran is currently in Adcom, and he's been associated with the creative department and creative field for good 15 plus years. And knowing Jibran personally, I vouch for the fact that he's one of the most creative people I've met. And his experience, not just in Adcom, but also in Orient McCann and the earlier agencies, has been phenomenal. He's brilliant, not just with words, but also with music and lyrics. And we have often seen him doing quite a lot of interesting compositions in our, past times. We have Shehan Ryer. Shehan का experience मुझे बड़ा मजे का लगा while I was what you call the stalking online on the LinkedIn profile. Shehan is a graduate from York University, and then in Pakistan he has worked on multidisciplinary fields. RJ भी रहे हैं, business development भी कही है, brand manager भी रहे हैं. Shehan has worked extensively in very interesting organizations like FM91, Daily Mirror, which is another very profound organization. And with good 15 plus years of experience, Shehan is right now working as Director of Business Development in EastRiver. And I have my personal respect for the organization for breaking the cliches of communication in the market and coming up with very interesting content. EastRiver, for Hamisha, I say that hats off to him. With that kind of respect I have for another organization, जिसको मैं दिल से बहुत इज्जत करता हूँ, and which is Ogilvy. And I have Umer from Ogilvy here. Umer has a decade-long experience in creative department, and he has not just worked. He's working as a creative group head in Ogilvy, but also he has worked with JWT. He's worked with other organizations, and he has a very extensive brand portfolio when it comes to communication skills. So Umer is another very interesting and creative chap. And last but not the least, Talha Hashim, the other side of the table when it comes to Talha, has actually seen both sides, if I'm not wrong. When I was observing your experiences, you have worked with agencies as well. So that gives you a very interesting perspective where you were sitting at one side of the table and then you jump to another, and you work with National Foods. You're currently working with Mondelez on Pakistan and Egypt region, and your focus is very much on media. So how media influences people from brand communication. And today's session is all about the COVID strategies that earlier we were just discussing. So when I start talking about, let's do this, Jibran, I'll ask you, and then we can, it's the same question from everybody. My very first question is like we were talking, there's a very simple joke that everybody's saying these days, the ads earlier used to be, for example, by a Toyota. But nowadays the ads are, this is a difficult and uncertain time for us, by a Toyota. So it's just the prefix that adds, and the whole conversation is still the same for most of the brands. But I'm sure, like we were talking earlier, कि पहले तो हमें इतनी शदीद वो हिट हुई कि हमें समझ में नहीं आया कि ये हमारे साथ हो क्या रहा है. So in these 2 months, what is the concentrated change have you noticed in the overall advertising industry? Let's start with Pakistan, and then we can see with the global level.
Sure. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction, Danish sir. और आपने जो बात की कि टोयोटा की, तो उसको मैं पहले से करेक्ट कर दूंगा कि अभी जो पिच है वो ये है कि बाय द हाइजीनिक टोयोटा. तो एवरी प्रोडक्ट वांट्स टू शो द हाइजीनिक साइड्स राइट नाउ. इस वक्त आप जितने प्रोडक्ट्स को देख लें, क्योंकि जो यूजर का कंसर्न है वो ये है कि मैं जो चीज़ खा रहा हूँ, मेरे घर में जो चीज़ आ रही है, इवन सब्जी फल जो घर में आ रहा है, क्या उसमें तो किसी का हाथ नहीं लगा हुआ. सो प्रायोरिटीज हैव चेंज्ड. इवन आप पाकिस्तान में देखें तो बहुत सारे ब्रांड्स की मैं वीडियोस देख रहा हूँ जिन्होंने अपने प्लांट्स को एक्सपोज करना शुरू कर दिया है. दे स्टार्टेड मेकिंग द वीडियोस, डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज ऑफ द प्लांट्स कि हमारे यहाँ जो है वो बगैर हाथ लगे जो है वो प्रोडक्ट तैयार हो रहा है. उसमें जो है वो ईटेबल्स भी हैं, उसमें हाइजीन प्रोडक्ट्स भी हैं, जिसमें वो लोगों को बताना चाह रहे हैं कि हमारे पास जो है टोटली ऑटोमेटेड सिस्टम से काम हो रहा है और हम प्योरली हाइजीनिक प्रोडक्ट्स बना रहे हैं. सो प्रायोरिटीज हैव चेंज्ड. अब जो है वो आप बहुत सारे ब्रांड्स थे जिनका आई नो कि उन्होंने जो आने वाले प्रोडक्ट्स थे वो कुछ टाइम के लिए रोक दिए. मार्केट जो आपकी जो रिफ्रेश होती है हर 5-6 महीने बाद, जब नए प्लेयर्स मार्केट में आते हैं तो उससे रिफ्रेश होती है, चाहे वो आपके ईटेबल्स हो, चाहे वो आपके एफएमसीजीज हो. जब न्यू प्लेयर्स मार्केट में आते हैं, न्यू वेरिएंट्स या न्यू ब्रांड्स उनके मार्केट्स में आते हैं, तो मार्केट जो आपकी साथ साथ रिवाइव होती है. दिस हैज स्टॉप्ड इन दीज 2 months. पिछली कोई नई चीज नहीं आ रही, जो चीज है उस पे एवरीवन वांट्स टू सर्वाइव. अब क्वेश्चन ये आता है कि सवाल अभी तक 2 महीने में जो कुछ हुआ है वो तो हो गया है, आगे क्या करना होगा ये अभी तक बहुत सारे ब्रांड्स को समझ नहीं आया. इवन आप पोस्ट प्री कोविड भी देखें, सब कुछ जब सही चल रहा था, ये सिचुएशन इतनी अचानक आई है विद इन अ मंथ कि ब्रांड्स और इवन कोई भी गवर्नमेंट्स हो गए, लोग हो गए, कोई भी तैयार नहीं था कि किसी किस्म की कम्युनिकेशन बनाने के लिए. सो 2 महीने तक तो जैसे हम लोग अभी बात कर रहे थे कि तमाम ब्रांड्स जो हैं वो यही बताने में लगे रहे कि घर पे बैठे, हाथ ना मिलाएं, फिजिकल कांटेक्ट ना रखें, हाथ धोएं वगैरह वगैरह. लेकिन अभी तक कोई भी कोविड के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से कोई स्ट्रेटजी क्राफ्ट नहीं कर पाया. आई नो फ्यू ब्रांड जो कि काम कर रहे हैं और एंड दैट विल गो अ लॉन्ग वे, क्योंकि स्ट्रेटजीज आ रहे 1 महीने 2 महीने में क्राफ्ट नहीं होती. टाइम लगेगा, 5-6 महीने लगेंगे, उसके बाद वो अपनी जो भी फ्यूचर पोस्ट कोविड जिस तरह से वो लोग देखते हैं उस तरह से जाएगा. बट अभी तक कोई उस तरह की डेवलपमेंट सामने नहीं आई है. रही बात अभी जितना काम हो रहा है, अभी तक सिर्फ ब्रांड्स सिर्फ दे आर प्रीचिंग कि बस दूर रहे दूर रहे दूर रहे. इंटरेस्टिंग चीज अब आएगी जब ये कल परसों से लॉकडाउन उठेगा, तो उस वक्त के बाद से ब्रांड्स की कम्युनिकेशन कैसे, क्योंकि ये जो मामला है ये डेफिनेटली एक डेवलपिंग स्टोरी. अब शुरू में जो पहली पिच थी वो यही थी कि यार घर बैठ जाओ. अब ब्रांड्स किस तरह से आगे आते हैं अभी ये 2-3 दिन में और समझ में आएगा कि क्योंकि आई नो फ्यू ब्रांड जिन्होंने इस हवाले से अपनी स्ट्रैटेजी बनानी शुरू कर दी है कि अब जो 3 दिन बाद होने वाला है उसकी उसमें आपको क्या करना होगा. सो ब्रांड्स हैव टू बी अलाइव, दे हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी मच लाइव. सो लेट्स सी.
Yes, I agree. Thank you very much, Jibran. This is very valuable input that you gave. Umer, in your opinion, the same question, what's the shift of communication that you've seen in the brand? Can you elaborate on that, please?
Definitely. I just feel that every brand, जैसे Jibran ने बताया, that this thing, it came so suddenly. We were not expecting कि पाकिस्तान में अचानक से जो है वो इतना बड़ा एक shift आएगा. So what happens is that जब इस तरह की crisis आती है, every brand wants to stay relevant, and at the same time they don't want to sound very opportunist कि हम इस वक्त को जो है वो इस मुश्किल वक्त को they don't want to cash it and they still don't want to sell it. And what's difficult is that इस तरह के टाइम पे ऐसी communication बनाना कि आप जो है एक बहुत hard sell भी ना कर रहे हो अपनी चीज़ों को, आप जो है वो रेलिवेंट भी रह रहे हो, and you're still making sense, you're being responsible, because communication is something that you need to be very sensitive when you're talking to your consumer. And at this point in time, the consumers all over Pakistan, everyone, may it be any consumer for any brand, सब लोग जो है वो इस वक्त ये सोच रहे हैं कि हमने अपने घर वालों को किस तरीके से जो है वो सेफ रखना है, हमने खुद सेफ कैसे रहना है. And हम लोग बाहर से, even us, like when we go out, we get things, we get grocery, we bring it home, हम पहले साफ करते हैं उसको. So we don't want to see anything on digital media or on conventional media जो उसके बिल्कुल opposite कोई बात कर रही हो, कि जो देख के हमें लगे कि यार this is very different, and ये तो मतलब वो हमें कोई भी चीज़ गलत तरीके से अगर हमें communicate कोई हो जाएगी तो it will be a disaster for the brand and for many people, because right now everyone is on digital, everyone is on the lookout. सब लोग देख रहे हैं कि कौन सा ब्रांड क्या चीज कम्युनिकेट कर रहा है. So it is challenging for everyone. I totally agree with Jibran when he says कि अभी तो हर ब्रांड सर्फेस लेवल के ऊपर यही बात करना चाह रहा है कि आप लोग दूर रहें और जो है वो प्रोटेक्टिव मेजर्स लें और जो है वो अपना ख्याल रखें. बट व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन थिंग्स get a bit better, the new normal is going to be very different, and we can just predict right now कि कैसा होगा. We are still not sure, and this is like the biggest challenge, that we're not sure of how the consumer will react, किस तरीके से जो है वो behavior change होगा. हम हम जो चीज़ें पहले बड़े आसानी से हम जिस तरह आप कह रहे थे ना कि हम कहते थे पहले कि आप ये टोयोटा खरीद लें, वी कांट रियली से दैट नाउ. वी नीड टू मेक श्योर कि हम किस तरीके से उसको इतना रेलिवेंट बना सकते हैं. उसी में हमें सेफ्टी की बात भी करनी है, उसी में हमें जो है वो हालात को देखते हुए सिचुएशन के बारे में बात करनी है. सो वी हैव टू बी वेरी थॉटफुल ओवरऑल. सो आई बिलीव दैट वी ऑल कलेक्टिवली एज एन इंडस्ट्री नीड टू क्रैक अ वे फॉरवर्ड जिसके थ्रू हम डिसाइड कर सकें कि अब हमें किस तरीके से अपने ब्रांड्स को जो है वो आगे लेके बढ़ना है. बिकॉज वी एज ए टीम, एडवर्टाइजर्स, मार्केटियर्स, ब्रांड्स, हम सबको मिलकर जो है वो ये चीज़ डिसाइड करनी होगी. वी हैव टू क्राफ्ट दिस. सो आई स्टिल आई एम जगलिंग बिटवीन एवरी डे वी प्रेडिक्ट कि अब हालात बेहतर हो जाएंगे, हम यूँ करेंगे, हम ऐसे करेंगे, एंड देन द अदर डे वी गेट अ न्यू न्यूज़ जिसमें कुछ नई खबर आ जाती है. सो वी सडनली हैव टू अगेन मेक अ शिफ्ट एंड थिंक कि नहीं अब क्या करें. सो इट्स वेरी अनप्रेडिक्टेबल, अनसर्टेन as of now. So I think we can, it's just a trial and error thing. We will keep trying and hopefully we'll crack a way. Hopefully things get better also.
चेक एक उम्र की एक बात में मैं चीज आफ्टर मैं ऐड कर दूंगा कि कंज्यूमर की प्रायोरिटी जब उन्होंने कहा कि चेंज हुई है तो प्रोडक्ट्स को अपनी कम्युनिकेशन उस हिसाब से अब देखनी होगी. जैसे मैं एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि एज अ कंज्यूमर जब मुझे नजर आता है कि मैं कल देख रहा था कि गुड गुडीज ने एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री निकाली पूरी अपनी केक्स प्रिपेयर करने के ऊपर कि हम केक्स जो है कितने हाइजीनिक तरीके से बना रहे हैं. पहले मेरी प्रायोरिटी होती थी केक कितना मजेदार है, अब मेरी प्रायोरिटी है कि नहीं अब मैं दूसरा केक नहीं खाऊंगा जिसमें हाथ नहीं लगेगा, मैं वो केक खाऊंगा. सो द प्रायोरिटी हैव चेंज्ड. तो आई थिंक कम्युनिकेशन हैज टू चेंज अकॉर्डिंग टू
Definitely.
Brilliant. Umer, thank you very much. So Shehan, ये तो creative communication perspective से है. In terms of same philosophy, in terms of advertising as a platform and as a business, उसमें आपको किस किस्म का shift इसमें दिखता हुआ नजर आ रहा है?
So I'll disagree a little bit in the sense that what we've been saying is that brands aren't sure which way to go right now. In the first 2 weeks, we were all hit by surprise, right? No one knew what was going to happen. Everyone shut down their budgets. At max, people were taking out corporate statements on LinkedIn and on their Facebook page that we as a company support the country, support our people, support our doctors, etc. It was all that kind of communication that was coming out for the first couple of weeks. But here's the fact of the matter. All of your grocery stores have not been shut. They've been open from 9 to 5. There's been no time where they've been shut. Most of all of your FMCG products have been sold, right? So whether you're talking about a chocolate or a biscuit or a soda or a soap, it's all being sold currently. The hours between which you purchase them are a little different, right? So what I've seen after the first 2-3 weeks of the shock value is that there's been a huge push towards e-commerce. Until last year, e-commerce to a lot of brands was just a buzzword. Haan, e-commerce karna hai yaar, haan, waise karna hai. A couple of them did a very cool case studies. They were featured on Facebook, etc., etc. Daraz was a big player, but they weren't getting as much attention from the big FMCG brands at all. In the last 2 months, we have seen a significant shift of brands, not just setting up their own stores, but going towards your Darazes, your Hummarts, and then also look at how these e-com players have evolved. Now on Daraz, there's Daraz Fresh, there's Daraz Mart, as well as the usual, wear and tear goods that you can purchase. So there's been a huge evolution towards digital. In fact, everyone keeps saying digital is the next big thing. The one thing that COVID has brought about with it, unintentionally, of course, is that what would have taken us another 8 years to achieve in digital, we will achieve in the next 2 months. And it's not by choice. It is actually just by sheer force. Brands that don't acclimatize will get devoured. The ones that do, the ones that accept this new path, accept this new fate, will be the ones that will see it through easier. So it's just now about accepting the winds of change. The traditional way of doing things is not going to work. Right now, productions even to happen are a very difficult thing, right? No brand really wants to take the risk because then if a story comes out that, oh, so-and-so brand was doing a shoot and 6 of them caught COVID, that's a really bad headline to have. So now you can't do your Shashka TVC play. No one's going to Bangkok anymore, so you can forget about that. No one's going abroad. All of that has changed. That's one. Number two is you can't copy anyone anymore because every country is going through a different phase of COVID. So now it can't be like, hi, yaar, Pakistani, so just copy the Indian ads. You can't do that anymore. It's a new reality for every country. So you have to actually take your insights from what your countrymen are dealing with. You can't base it on the Americans anymore, and you certainly can't base it on the Indians, because trust me, COVID has shifted the paradigm for everyone. So if you copy them, you'll just seem to have, it won't look cool anymore. It'll just seem like you're disconnected. That's the key. So a lot of cool things are going to come out of this, actually. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, that's actually very, very valuable, Shehan, because like you said that every country has a very different strategy to handle COVID. और इसमें हम पहली दफा अपने कल्चर को देखते हुए, उसकी सेंसिबिलिटी को देखते हुए हम अपनी कम्युनिकेशन को डिफाइन करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. But one point that very interestingly struck out, which I'm going to ask you next after Talha shares his point of view, is more about, so in your opinion, it's more about the shift of channel of product distribution than the communication itself. So we'll come back to it. Before that, Talha, so since you've been handling brand not just on the local level but on the regional level, and you've been looking at the perspective of media and communication in a way that it creates an impact on multiple countries, with this kind of scenario, what is your opinion that how this whole shift of communication is coming in the COVID area?
So, the first thing that you need to understand is that recently I was having a conversation with a coworker, and she gave me some really good advice. She said that just at this point in time, the people who are going to be successful and people who are going to progress will be the ones who are flexible and who accept change really fast and are able to catch up. I feel the same stands true for brands as well. The acceptance of change, being agile, and being able to keep up with what's going on into the larger scheme of things. When this COVID thing hit, all of us were going up with the plans that हमने December में जो finalize किए थे, जो हमारे communication plans थे, जो हमारे media plans थे, everything was on air accordingly. Our communication copies were made in that way, and out of the blue, this thing hit us. उस वक्त जंग थी relevance की. We wanted to be relevant to what was going on outside in the world. You couldn't show, kuch meetha ho jaye, a bada happy, hunky dory kind of message on television whereas people are dying and people are getting sick and, there is panic in the streets. So everybody started talking about, social distancing, stay safe, hygiene, contactless delivery, vitamin C in our products, and it will help you, with your immunity. Everybody started focusing on that, but then it became a one-size-fits-all kind of a strategy, because every brand you would see in every country was talking the same. Regardless के जो है क्या culture है क्या background है, वो situation के साथ relevant होने की कोशिश कर रहे थे. Moving forward, ये सारी चीजें e-commerce, I agree with what Shehan said that e-commerce में जो progress हुई है, digital पे जो progress हुई है, वो पिछले अगले 5 साल की progress 2 महीने के अंदर हो गई है. लोगों की acceptance इतनी बढ़ गई है because now they are prioritizing convenience over being physically having to go out and being in contact with a lot of people or being in the store. But thing is, ये सारे functional aspects हैं. Brands are built and brands win market share based on emotions and based on that connect with your audience, and this is where all the brands are lacking right now, because obviously wo thought process ka, wo brainstorming ka, wo campaign development ka time nahi mila. But locally to maine koi aisi communication nahi dekhi which would really make me realize that this brand has been able to crack it. But Ford Motors ki communication hai US ke andar angled towards COVID, which really made me realize that these guys were able to crack it. And wo communication aisi hai, that in the US all the car manufacturers, they lease out the cars in terms of giving credit facility to the customers. So as soon as COVID hit, all these manufacturers announced that we are going to give you flexible credit. You will have flexibility of delaying your payments. Sabki communication same thi. Ford ki communication bhi ye thi, but the way they started with a black and white film. showing the history of America, and it started off saying that we have lent a hand in building history in America. We have been through the country through thick and thin, and we've been through a lot of trouble, and we've always succeeded, and we will prevail this time as well. And then they came out with that functional message that in order to hold your hand and be supportive with our customers, this is the facility we are engaging. And that particular ad performed the best in terms of brand matrix, in terms of the brand recall, in terms of its relevance and recall among the audience, because it communicated a sense of stability. It panic stricken लोगों को आपने जो है hope दी कि पहले भी बुराई आई है, पहले भी tough time आया है, but we prevailed and we successfully went through it. हमारी legacy है, हमने हमेशा जो है country को help किया, हम अभी भी करेंगे. So this emotional connect, no other brand was able to make it, but this, I think, really worked in favor of Ford, and the numbers are showing. People are writing about it, people are talking about it. So this is where the next battle lines are drawn. कि कौन सा brand staying true to the product, staying true to the integrity of the brand itself, is able to create that emotional connect and project itself as someone who is relevant, functional, yet emotionally appealing to the consumers. So I think 2 महीने गुजर गए. अब जो है, we'll see that there need to be a lot of agility that is required in terms of getting brands out there, because a lot of brands were hoping कि ये initial 2-3 महीने का एक upheaval आएगा and then we will be able to restore our plans. But that is not the case. We are looking at a situation where the world as we know it has completely changed, and like Shehan said earlier to me, that we are not going back to those times. अब चीजें different होंगी. So it's really imperative कि once things come to the new normal, we are able to be out there with that message which is relevant yet impactful.
Thank you very much. Very, very insightful, Talha.
Before we move on to the next speaker, I'm not sure if you can see the comments, but we have one question from one of the Karachi creatives group. तो एक बंदा सलमान सैयद वो पूछ रहा है, do you think it's essential for every business out there to change their communication strategy and do something around COVID-19? And then we have another question by Hira Sultan. I think we can take that later, but I think this is more relevant to what we're discussing right now. So if you may answer it.
I don't see that comment, by the way. Achha,
I'll just put it down for you over here in the comments.
Please.
ठीक.
I see one question by Amina. Should I address that? Because it's addressed to me. So Amina Beg asked that seeing the digital industry evolve over the last 2 years, what changes in trends in creative and overall business can you project at the moment? देखो सबसे बड़ा जो चेंज है ना वो तो ये है कि डिजिटल की इवैल्यूएशन पाकिस्तान में अब प्रॉपर्ली हो रही है. This is the time when people are actually going to realize the true potential of digital communication. क्योंकि मीडिया में देखें ये वही वाला स्टेटमेंट था कि पहले टीवी का चूंकि बूम बहुत स्ट्रांग था और एवरीबॉडी वाज जस्ट स्टक टू टीवी ओनली, तो वो उनको वहां से हटते हुए थोड़ा डर लग रहा. मैं ये नहीं कहूँगा कि टीवी की अपनी एफिकेसी पाकिस्तान में नहीं है, अभी भी बहुत है, लेकिन ये कि जो डिजिटल की एफिकेसी है उसको बंदा सही तरह समझ नहीं पा रहा था या डर रहे थे या उस शिफ्ट पे आने के लिए थोड़ा सा उनको एक जिटरी इफेक्ट आ रहा था. So this time, like Shehan mentioned, कि जिस चीज में 8 साल लगने थे, हमें 2 महीने के अंदर एक क्रैश कोर्स मिला और हम डिजिटल के अब उस पोटेंशियल के ऊपर देखना शुरू हुए. The major shift in digital marketing that I see, Shehan will definitely agree with me. अब ये वो टाइम नहीं रहा कि हमें 15 पोस्ट बना के महीने में लगानी होगी. अब हमें एक्चुअली कस्टमर को समझना होगा, कस्टमर को समझना होगा, उसकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग, जो उसका इंटरनेट यूजेज है उसके हिसाब से उसके डोर स्टेप पे पहुंच के उसको कम्युनिकेट करना होगा. तो वो सबसे बड़ा ट्रेंड शिफ्ट जो है मैं ये देख रहा हूँ डिजिटल मार्केटिंग के अंदर जो आएगा, कि हमें डिजिटल कम्युनिकेशन को एज ए कम्युनिकेशन प्लेटफॉर्म यूज करना है, ना कि एक सिंपल सा एड ऑन एडेड वैल्यू यूज करना था जो हम पहले यूज करते चले जा रहे थे. सो आमिना, दैट इज the summary of what
one
it
thing
is.
to add in on that, I feel like the language will change on the agency side as well, because before, I remember in 2016 when we'd go in for pitches and the Seth was sitting opposite the table from us, he'd be like, Mal kitna bechne ho, right? And we'd be like, nahi, dekhe, awareness ek cheez hota hai, and we will reach 3 million people, and 20 points more awareness and all of that stuff. The conversations changed on both ends. Now the brand manager does not care about the Shashka post. He's saying, bhai, I want my carousel. My carousel should have a CTA. It should go direct into my ROI, and I want to know how much I'm selling and what my cost of customer acquisition is. Because they have learned this language, it makes our job that much more easier as well, because they are now educating themselves more. So it actually brings the entire industry up. Pehle ye hota tha ki the less a brand knows, the better off the agency is. Bhai, leave us, we're the experts. That's actually not the way. The more educated your brand partner is, the better off your agency is. And now everyone is speaking one language: ROI, cost per customer acquisition. That is the most important language for us now.
Oh yes, completely agree. So taking another question, it is, how would post-COVID advertising be like in their views? What impact will it have on digital communication through influencers, content creators, digital content, and communication companies? I think, isko Shehan and Talha, knowing the fact that hum uske karte hain, so let's address this. So Shehan, what is your opinion about the question?
I'm just looking at it again also. What would a post-COVID advertising be like in their views? What impact will it have on digital communication through influence? So we were actually just having this conversation about influencer marketing and PR. And I feel now, because brands are very hesitant about the kind of messaging they want to put out on their own platform. Because remember, 70% of your conversation for a brand has to be what the brand says, and 30% should be other people talking about you. Brands right now are very they're not scared, but they're just being very hesitant on what the 70% of communication will come out on their platform. But they are now more and more experimenting with the 30%, which is through influencer marketing, which is through PR. I'm sure all of you have seen when you go on your Instagram, FHM is interviewing some celebrity, Atif Aslam is being interviewed by someone else. You have Wasim Akram and Shoaib Akhtar both doing, an Instagram for a brand. So brands are really starting to experiment with that 30%. And I think when they see the results, especially when they're not spending that much or not doing that much on their own pages, I think that's when they'll start to appreciate what influencer marketing can really do. Because वही सवाल था ना जो पहले था, यार awareness क्या चीज होता है? I'm not selling anything. अच्छा influencer ने post कर लिया, what am I getting out of that post? Now they are able to actually tangibly see what an influencer post can get them. So I feel like that is going to be a huge thing going forward, and I think digital PR is going to grow going forward as well.
Bilkul. Talha, before you answer this, I'll add a bit of something that you shared earlier. जिसपे आपने एक point उठाया था कि Ford ने जब ये communication चलाई, so people started writing a lot about it. So that gave me a very interesting question, which is actually aligned with this. Is which Shehan also very clearly mentioned कि पहले सेट होता था, बोलता था चलो अगर मैं ये campaign चलाऊंगा मेरी product कितनी बिकेगी. अब साथ में so ये battle start हो गया जिसमें I call it sales versus brand awareness. So with the same question and with this opinion, what do you think how brands are going to shift the whole thing?
अच्छा देखें, recent times के अंदर digital PR and influencer marketing was picking up even before COVID hit us. That was something that was becoming a part of our communication plans, like TV is or digital is. Digital PR को एक अलग head के अंदर हम लोगों ने देखना शुरू कर दिया था, be it our brands or other brands in the market. So digital PR was already gaining traction. आपको understand करना पड़ेगा, and I'm sure you already understand this, that when COVID hit, इतना टाइम नहीं था कि नई टीवीसीज बनाई जाएं या नया कम्युनिकेशन प्लेटफॉर्म खड़ा किया जाए. बट डिजिटल पीआर की नेचर ऐसी है कि इसका टर्न अराउंड टाइम 10 to 15 days के अंदर यू कैन कम बैक विद अ बिग आइडिया or a communication idea, and you can deploy your campaign in a way that you are still able to fight for that share of voice. So it is something that was giving you the agility. From a cost perspective, a TV campaign goes easily into tens and millions of rupees, but a digital PR campaign, 2-3 million, which would give you, significant amount of, share of voice within the competitive space that you are trying to operate in. So it was a very effective tool for you to quickly gain traction and do it in an effective way, because we were looking at budget cuts as well, right? Because जैसे ही sales को impact होने का fear शुरू हुआ, the first step was to see कि यार हम जरा budgets को curtail करें, हम ring fence कर दें budgets को, हम freeze लगा दें budgets के ऊपर. So you then had a very limited amount of money and you wanted to still not totally disappear, because I think the worst thing you could do during a situation like this is totally disappear and be a totally directionless brand. The no brand manager, no brand custodian would want कि उनका brand जो है ऐसे critical moment पे बिल्कुल गायब हो जाए. चाहे आप social distancing की बात कर रहे थे या आप जो है ना product attributes की बात कर रहे थे या hygiene की बात कर रहे थे, it's very important for a brand to have a narrative or a standpoint during these times, because later on फिर catch up करना to whatever has been happening would be very difficult for a brand. So I think इसको digital PR को और influencer marketing को आपको उस perspective से देखना पड़ेगा. दूसरा, अगर आप local scenario में देखें तो our audience and our society loves the testimonial approach. A brand coming outright and saying something, उसकी जो believability factor होगा ना, वो versus somebody they follow on Instagram or Twitter or a blogger or a celebrity saying it, they instantly prefer to believe those people because they are somehow able to create that human connection with those people and they follow their activities and their lives and they feel more connected to those people. So for a brand, it's a very smart way to get that message across, instead के मैं अपने social platform पे वो message डालूं जिस पे believability low हो या मतलब trust consumer का low हो, versus spending less money through an influencer and still building that brand reputation or brand trust through somebody else being an advocate for my brand. So इसको इस perspective से I think देखना चाहिए and इसकी relevance I think बढ़ती जाएगी. Given how things are progressing, we'll have to be smarter, we'll have to be cost effective, we'll have to deliver higher ROIs, sales भी देनी पड़ेंगी, साथ में brand awareness भी देनी पड़ेगी. So such a medium then becomes very handy and very effective in such a situation.
Yeah, that is fantastic. एक creative related question है जिब्रान और मिर्जा उमर दोनों से.
Sure.
दोनों ने आपने इनिशियल जब कॉन्वर्सेशन की थी तो एक बहुत सिंपल सा वर्ड है और बहुत ट्रिकी वर्ड है, रेलेवेंस, आप दोनों ने इस्तेमाल किया था. So how is relevance going to be redefined in this COVID era, in your opinion, in communication at this point of time? What are the things that will make it more relevant to customer? How, functional or emotional?
देखिए, दो तरह की चीजें हैं, ये दो तरह के प्रोडक्ट्स हैं. एक वो है जो डायरेक्टली कोविड से लिंक करते हैं, जिसमें आपके एंटीबैक्टीरियल सोप्स हैं, हैंड वॉश हैं, सैनिटाइजर्स हैं. ये वो चीज़ें जो कि आपकी कोविड की प्रॉब्लम से डायरेक्टली लिंक करती हैं, तो ऑब्वियसली इनका तो रेलेवेंस रहेगा. उसके अलावा आपकी वो चीज़ जो कि रोज़ाना के इस्तेमाल की है, उनके लिए रेलेवेंट रहना बड़ा एक चैलेंज होगा. हाँ, जैसे इससे पहले क्वेश्चन आया था कि कम्युनिकेशन में क्या चेंज आएगा, क्या उनकी कम्युनिकेशन कोविड के अकॉर्डिंगली हो जाएगी, तो शायद ऐसा ना हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर मेरा एक चावल का ब्रांड है तो जरूरी नहीं है कि मैं अगले 2-3 साल कोविड पे ही अपनी कम्युनिकेशन कर सकूं, बट यस, द पैरामीटर्स विल चेंज. और जो जिन चीज़ों पे मैं पहले तवज्जो नहीं देता था, शायद मुझे तवज्जो देनी पड़ेगी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अभी भी कितने इस तरह के एड्स हैं जिसमें लोग पॉइंट आउट कर रहे हैं कि यार सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग फॉलो नहीं हो रही. कुछ ब्रांड है जिन्होंने रिसेंटली अपनी फिल्म रिलीज की है, उनको सोशल मीडिया पे इसीलिए बैकलैश मिला है कि यार दुनिया इस वक्त जो है वो अपने आप को बचाने में लगी हुई है, एंड यू शॉट एन एंटायर फिल्म पुटिंग योर एंटायर क्रू एंड योर टीम इन डेंजर, दे पुटिंग देयर लाइफ एट रिस्क. सो इस हिसाब से डायनेमिक्स चेंज हो रहे हैं. बात आती है रेलेवेंस की, तो ये रेलेवेंस इस तरह से जरूर होगा कि जैसे मैं सब भी कह रहा था कि हाइजीन के ऊपर फोकस बढ़ जाएगा. अब वही ब्रांड आगे होगा जिसकी हाइजीन सबसे ज्यादा दिखाई जाएगी. अगर कोई डायपर का ब्रांड है जो कि बता रहा है, क्योंकि डायपर के 5-6 सब मार्केट में बड़े प्लेयर्स मौजूद हैं, अगर कोई एक डायपर कहता है कि यार हम हाइजीनिक हैं, हम जो है वो हमारा प्लांट जो है वो टोटली ऑटोमेटेड है, हम डिसइंफेक्शन कर रहे हैं प्लांट पे, तो मैं अपने एटलीस्ट बच्चे के लिए अगली दफा वही शायद ब्रांड सोचूंगा, कोई और ना सोचूं. तो मेरे एज अ व्यूअर जब मेरे प्रेफरेंसेस चेंज हो रहे हैं तो ब्रांड का जो रेलेवेंस है वो भी चेंज होगा. खाने की जहाँ चीजें आती हैं तो जो अपनी हाइजीन पे ज्यादा बात करेगा वो मार्केट में ज्यादा रेलेवेंट हो जाएगा, और ये अगले कोई 4-5 साल तक प्रोबेबली शायद ये रहेगा. कुछ जो ज्यादा रेलेवेंट होने की कोशिश करते हैं, तो आई डोंट नो कि उनका पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू क्या है इस पे, लेकिन इस वक्त हमें कैटेगरी ब्रांड्स को भी खुद बताना होगा कि कौन सा ब्रांड जो है सब मेरी कोविड सिचुएशन से रिलेट कर रहा है, कौन सा नहीं कर रहा है। अब जैसे मैंने एग्जांपल दी, चावल का ब्रांड है, उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, वो अपनी सिर्फ सेल्स की बात करेगा और वो सेल्स करेगा। हाँ, वो अपनी पीआर पे साथ काम कर सकता है, क्योंकि जैसे बीच में हुआ था जब आटे की शॉर्टेज हो गई थी, तो कुछ आटे के ब्रांड्स ने अपनी जो है वो राशन तकसीम करने की जो एक्टिविटीज थी, इन्होंने वहाँ पे फंडिंग करनी शुरू कर दी और आटे की बोरियां वहाँ पहुंचानी शुरू कर दी थी। सो उन्होंने अपने पीआर लेग वहां से कवर किया, लेकिन उनकी जो अपनी आटे की कम्युनिकेशन है उस पर उन्होंने कोविड का कोई जिक्र नहीं किया। सो आई थिंक देखना पड़ेगा कि कुछ रिलेवेंट होंगे, कुछ नहीं होंगे। सो अगले 2-3 महीने में और ज्यादा क्लियर पिक्चर पता चलेगा।
So I feel that जिस तरह जिब्रान कह रहे हैं कि next 4 to 5 years तक जो है वो trend शायद ऐसे रहेंगे और brands will have to be more conscious about being hygienic and और वो इस point of view से relevant रहेंगे. I beg to differ. I feel that 2-3-4 साल अभी भी as of now brands are still now focusing towards positivity in their communication. Because the more you're getting attached to this narrative कि आप जो है वो इसी तरह की बातें करेंगे कि आप कितने हाइजीनिक ब्रांड हैं और कितना आप जो है वो एक क्राइसिस सिचुएशन में कितना आपको यूज करना चाहिए, तो आई थिंक इट आल्सो स्प्रेड्स a lot of negativity in a very subliminal way because आप जब even on digital, on TV, on any medium, if you're watching a communication and for the next 2-3 years if you keep watching अगर आप यही सुनते रहेंगे कि क्या चीज़ आपके लिए सेफ है, क्या चीज़ आपके लिए सेफ नहीं है, क्या चीज़ आपके लिए कितनी अच्छी है कितनी बुरी है, तो what happens is that mentally जो है ना there's a lot of stress that is in the society as of now, in the world as of now because of this crisis happening everywhere. So I think what brands will now be doing is that we just need to be very careful in our wording, in our communication, when we're drafting something, when we're writing something, we need to keep in mind कि हम जब लिख रहे हैं तो हम कोई ऐसी बात ना करें या हम वो लैंग्वेज ऐसी यूज करें जो हमारे कंज्यूमर की जो सेंटिमेंट्स हैं उनको हर्ट ना करे, एंड एट द सेम टाइम लाइक द बेस्ट वे टू आई फील दैट द बेस्ट वे टू सेल योर प्रोडक्ट इज that you advertise it in a way that you're not like driving attention towards the product and you're still selling it. That is by emotions, by evoking emotions. That is by being relevant, by you in a way जहाँ पे आप अपने ब्रांड को relevant सिर्फ फंक्शनैलिटी पे नहीं बनाते, आप उसको इमोशंस के थ्रू रेलिवेंट बनाते हैं, आप उसको जो है वो मजीद और चीज़ों के थ्रू रेलिवेंट बनाते हैं. सो आई रियली फील दैट द न्यू नॉर्मल ऑब्वियसली इट्स डिजिटल, लेकिन हमें इतना ज़्यादा इससे 3-4 साल आई थिंक इट्स अ लॉन्गर टाइम. आई थिंक बहुत जल्द जो है वो ब्रांड्स विल स्टार्ट कम्युनिकेटिंग इन अ वेरी पॉजिटिव वे नाउ, बिकॉज देयर आर मेनी ब्रांड्स जो हाइजीनिक ब्रांड्स नहीं हैं, जो जिस तरह फॉर इंस्टेंस टोयोटा और एनी अदर ब्रांड फॉर दैट केस जिनका ताल्लुक नहीं है जो है वो हाइजीन से और हमारी कोविड-19 के इस दौर में. इस हिसाब से तो फिर कोई ब्रांड रेलेवेंट नहीं रहेगा. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट I think everything is going to stay fine. It will get better, but in a different way. It will be communicated in a different way now. वो जो तरीका है बस अब
इसमें एक पॉइंट मैं ऐड करूंगा उमर. Sorry Jibran. I was reading a couple of data that was shared by Nielsen last week, and surprisingly Toyota can actually talk about hygiene by saying that in our car you are protected.
नहीं डेफिनेटली देखें there are वो तो उस तरह से Jeep, if you like the brand Jeep is saying that right now it's asking everyone to stay off road. सही है. So they have launched their entire campaign which talks about staying off road. So that does not literally, they cannot carry it for the next 2-3 years. That is what I'm basically trying to say, that एक ब्रांड ये इस तरह के नैरेटिव को लेके इतना लॉन्ग जो है ना वो इतने लंबे ड्यूरेशन के लिए उसको कैरी फॉरवर्ड नहीं कर सकता, बिकॉज इन एनी केस they still have to keep in mind numbers. They have to if they're investing in something they would need returns, and that is what matters the most for a brand.
अच्छा, मैं उमर की बात में ऐड करना चाहता हूँ जी, कि जैसे उन्होंने कहा कि 3-4 साल तक आप लोगों को यही नहीं बता सकते कि ये चीज़ खतरनाक है और ये चीज़ आपको इस तरह से रहना है. तो डेफिनेटली व्हाट आई फील के ब्रांड्स विल डिस्ट्रीब्यूट देयर कम्युनिकेशन जैसे पहले भी करते हुए आए हैं, लेकिन अब आई थिंक दे हैव टू डू कि उनका जो अवेयरनेस विंग है वो डिफरेंट हो जाए कम्युनिकेशन का, और आपको जो जो प्रोडक्ट देंगे वो अलग हो जाएगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपकी प्रोडक्ट कम्युनिकेशन डिफरेंट बनेगी, और जो पब्लिक सर्विस कम्युनिकेशन है उसमें आपके सेलिब्रिटीज खड़े होंगे, आपको आगाह कर रहे होंगे, आपको खबरदार कर रहे होंगे. तो आई थिंक दे विल ब्रेक देम. बहुत सारे इस तरह के भी ब्रांड्स हैं जिन्होंने इस तरह की कम्युनिकेशन लॉन्च किए हैं कि सेलिब्रिटीज सारे आपको बता रहे हैं कि आपको घर में रहना है. ज़ाहिर है वो आप 3-4 साल तक डेफिनेटली नहीं कर सकते, आपको प्रोडक्ट बेचना होगा, मार्केट में निकालना होगा. रही बात एक और, मिर्जा उमर ने इंटरेस्टिंग बात ये की है कि पॉजिटिविटी और जो लैंग्वेज, क्या बात करनी है लोगों से, बार बार लोग ये बात नहीं सुन सकते. आप ह्यूमन साइकी की बात करें कि एक आम बंदा जो है वो दबंग क्यों देखता है, तमिल फिल्म्स क्यों देखता है, इवन सुपर हीरो मूवीज क्यों देखता है, क्योंकि खबरों में भी वही चीज देख रहा है. आम आदमियों को, अपने इर्द गिर्द भी आम आदमी को देख रहा है. दे नीड एन एस्केप फ्रॉम देयर. तो जब मैं न्यूज चैनल्स खोलता हूँ वहां भी मुझे कोविड नजर आ रहा है, जहां मैं नेटफ्लिक्स खोलता हूँ वहां भी मुझे कोविड का कंटेंट नजर आने लगा है. तो अगर एडवर्टाइजिंग में ही मुझे कोविड का कंटेंट नजर आएगा तो दैट वोंट वर्क फॉर लॉन्ग टर्म. आई थिंक मेरी जो नॉर्मल कम्युनिकेशन है, इट हैज टू कम बैक, और हमें डिवाइड करना होगा साथ साथ में, दोनों को साथ लेके चलना होगा.
Definitely, I agree. We will have to,
I think आप दोनों ने उसको
brand
बड़े प्यारे तरीके से समराइज किया है, और वो है कि you have to talk about hygiene and positivity together.
No, one more thing I'll just add here, that we as as advertisers हम communicate करते हैं. It is our responsibility, in like together with the brand, to make things like to send out comfort now and to bring things back to normal. If not, अगर बाहर चीजें normal नहीं है, so we still need to talk, and we talk in a way that gives hope, and basically which talks about that things will someday get normal, or we have to create and find ways to communicate in a way that is not spreading out panic anymore, because it is, I think it is our responsibility as an industry.
Fair enough. There's a question from Bilal Mani. It says, what if many people are illiterate or having less gadgets as in Pakistan, where influencing them is very challenging task? How would you digitally communicate with them?
Umar, before we take that question, I wanted to ask something which is relevant to what we're discussing right now. Jibran bhai, aapne bola tha ki we need to focus on elements such as hygiene and social distancing. So what do you think about brands like sporting and annual events such as Rock am Ring ho gaya, WrestleMania ho gaya, Olympics ho gaya? How do you think they're going to how do you think they're going to market their product in this entire COVID situation?
देखो, कम्युनिकेशन तब बनती है जब प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में होता है, एग्जिस्ट करता है. जब तक इवेंट्स नहीं होंगे उनको कम्युनिकेशन हम नहीं बना सकते. हमें पता है कि अगला जो ओलंपिक है, जो T20 वर्ल्ड कप आ रहा था, वो खतरे में पड़ चुका है. IPL कैंसिल हो चुका है, PSL हमारा आधा कैंसिल हो चुका है. तो वो इवेंट जब होंगे तब उनकी कम्युनिकेशन बनेगी. अभी तो वो होते हुए नजर नहीं आ रहे.
आपने बोला था we need to focus on these elements for the next couple of years. जब भी हम communication.
I think Umar, let me answer this. ताइवान में भी रिसेंटली कॉन्सर्ट हुआ है पिछले हफ्ते, जिसमें सिंगर जो थे वो स्टेज पे थे, लेकिन ऑडियंस सारी की सारी ऑनलाइन थी. पेपर व्यू की तरह का पूरा उन्होंने कॉन्सर्ट करवाया. जिस ग्राउंड में वो कॉन्सर्ट हो रहा था, उस कॉन्सर्ट वाली जगह पे उन्होंने कटआउट्स आदमियों के और औरतों के बना के वहां रख दिए, जस्ट टू मेक श्योर कि थोड़ा सा वो एक एम्बियंस क्रिएट हो जाए. बट उस कॉन्सर्ट की पूरी जो टिकटिंग थी वो लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग के ऊपर थी. So there is a possibility that we might be shifting more towards that kind of channels and that kind of communication points.
I think
जी
आप कंटिन्यू करें.
नहीं, it's okay, go ahead.
Sure. मैं ये कहना चाह रहा था कि इसका जो आंसर है वो ज्यादा एग्जीक्यूशन पे बेस्ड होगा बजाय कम्युनिकेशन के. 2-3 साल लगेंगे. हमारे इवेंट जिस तरह से इन्होंने बताया कि बगैर ऑडियंस के करने होंगे, PSL हमारा बगैर ऑडियंस के आखिरी कुछ मैचेस हुए. तो आई थिंक कोई एक शिफ्ट होगा जो कुछ 2-3 साल तक हमारा रहेगा, और हमारे इवेंट्स इस तरह से आहिस्ता आहिस्ता होना शुरू होंगे. कॉन्सर्ट्स हो गए, स्पोर्ट्स इवेंट्स हो गए. उनकी कम्युनिकेशन भी डेफिनेटली इस तरह से बनेगी कि हम लोगों को पहले समझाना पड़ेगा कि यार आपको ग्राउंड में नहीं आना. पहले हम उनको ग्राउंड में बुलाने के लिए मार्केट करते थे और एड्स बनाते थे. अब उनको हमें 2-3 साल तक ये कन्विंस करना होगा भाई आपको ग्राउंड नहीं आना, घर पे बैठ के किस तरह से आप ज्यादा बेहतर मजे ले सकते हैं वो ज्यादा होगा. एंड दैट्स अ फैक्ट, क्योंकि ग्राउंड में जाके आप जिस तरह से मैच देख सकते हैं उसका एक्सपीरियंस अलग होता है. लेकिन अगर आपको डिटेलिंग चाहिए, यू ऑलवेज हैव टू बी ऑन द स्क्रीन, क्योंकि हम भी जब ग्राउंड में जाते हैं तो लाइव बैठकर भी हम साथ में क्रिकेट को फॉलो कर रहे होते हैं, या लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग हमारे पास लगी होती है ताकि हमें रिप्लेस और बाकी डिटेलिंग साथ मिल सके. तो आई थिंक अब जो फोकस होगा ये होगा कि भाई आप घर पे बैठ के एंजॉय करें, घर पे आप बेहतर देख सकते हैं.
Also, one thing I wanted to add here to what Mirza was saying. Mirza, the thing that you were saying कि ये I think ये 1-2 साल की कहानी है या 2-3 साल की कहानी नहीं है. We are moving forward with an assumption कि एक वैक्सीन इसके लिए इन्वेंट हो जाएगी and it will come out into the market in the next 18 months or so or 16 months or so. Yes. But you need to understand that there is a case that a vaccine might not come. It was a feature CNN 2-3 days back कि there are a lot of viruses जिनकी वैक्सीन नहीं आती है. And in that case, a lot of things will become a permanent part of our lives. How we eat out, how we travel, how the travel experience is. And then आप probably कोविड को डायरेक्टली एड्रेस नहीं कर रहे होगे, बट उसकी जो हार्डशिप्स हैं या उसकी जो रेपरकशंस हैं, आप उसको पर पॉजिटिव स्पिन दे रहे होगे या आप लोगों के लिए ईज क्रिएट कर रहे हो. फॉर एग्जांपल, our brands giving relief to customers in terms of the credit facilities and all that, कुछ example था. So that's why it can be something that lasts us with us like for 4-5 years or 6 years, or maybe it becomes a seasonal flu kind of a situation कि जैसे कोविड का जो सीजन आए तो जो है ना कहते हैं हमारी कम्युनिकेशन टेलर हो जाए उसकी तरफ. So it can be that we don't know.
Definitely.
पहले हम वो भी ले लेते हैं. हमारे पास 2-3 सवाल हैं, पहले हम वो ले लेते हैं, नहीं तो वो
मैं उधर ही जा रहा था. So coming back to Bilal's question, that is that what about the areas जहाँ पे gadgets मौजूद नहीं है, जहाँ digital communication मौजूद नहीं है? Knowing the experience of media influence, Talha, I think you start with this, and then we can take up with the other people. Participants can also talk about it. So yeah, Talha.
देखिए, फर्स्टली जो है इट्स नॉट अ हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल के डिजिटली कम्युनिकेट करना है. आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि आपकी जो पाकिस्तान की मार्केट है, इट्स अ टीवी लेड मार्केट, इट्स अ कन्वेंशनल मीडिया लेड मार्केट. आपके अर्बन सेंटर्स के अंदर डिजिटल की पेनिट्रेशन है, बट योर लार्जर मासेस डू नॉट हैव द सेम काइंड ऑफ डिजिटल पेनिट्रेशन. सो ऑफ कोर्स टीवी देन बिकम्स योर मेन टूल टू हैव दैट मास रीच, बट देन you can plug in other things with that. For example, mobile connections. People don't have smartphones, but they still have mobile connections. Government of Pakistan ने एक initiative लिया कि ringtones change कर दी throughout the country. कि when you are calling someone, आपको कोविड की अवेयरनेस और सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग के बारे में जो है ना कहते हैं मैसेज मिल रहा है. इट्स इम्पॉसिबल टू मिस. आई मीन, you call anybody you call, you are hearing that message. So you will have to be creative in terms of selecting that media mix, and there is no hard and fast rule that digital is the only way to go. Digital is the future. It's good to invest in digital, and that's where how you tap into your urban masses. You need to understand कि पाकिस्तान के अंदर majority of the cases of COVID are coming out of your urban centers, your Karachi, your Islamabad, your Lahore, your Quetta, your Peshawar. That's where the digital penetration is high, and that's where it makes sense to communicate via digital. But you need to plug in the TV element along with that as well, plus the cell phone, the not the smartphone. It can be just as simple as having a IVR calling kind of an option, and it will get the job done.
Yeah, completely agree, Talha, because unfortunately for a lot of Pakistanis, when it comes to digital, they completely avoid mobility, which is actually the hardcore digital communication medium. And knowing more than 65 to 70% of Pakistanis have telecom devices in their hand in form of a phone or a smartphone, we cannot miss our audiences on digital platforms. Brilliant. So Amina continued her question, which I think across the board हम सारे मिलके इसका जवाब दे सकते हैं, is that the mode of business that we are catering to change at this point of time. How e-commerce is going to be effective in this. This is the one of the biggest phenomenon that has emerged out of this COVID situation in the past 2 months, which is the e-commerce solution in Pakistan. I must say that it's a boom. It's a boom of the industry at this point of time. The way not just existing businesses are catering and diversifying their portfolio, but also new businesses are coming in e-commerce market. So how does this change will affect overall? I think this is an open question to everybody at this point of time.
So I think, look, we're in the midst of now what's going to be a global recession, right? And every time there's been a global recession of this scale, there have been great businesses that have grown from it. In fact, the last global recession that occurred is where you got your Uber and Airbnb from, by the way. They were grown out of a dip in the economy. And even in this time, there will be businesses that will spring up that will take advantage of the new normal, and that will actually go forward and be the new way of doing business. So for example, if I'm opening up a restaurant in the next couple of years, it might be smarter for me to have a restaurant business that just delivers, right? There's no brick and mortar to it. There's no seats over there. There's no waiters. There's none of that to that. So home bakers, all of these home chefs have all of a sudden elevated themselves, and they're pretty much playing on the same level as your 5-star restaurants right now, right? Because they were in fact investing in this methodology way before, because they didn't have the option of a store. And e-commerce is, like I already mentioned the point, like a lot of brands are going to head towards it because people are buying. Please don't think that consumers are not buying. The last 3 weeks, I've seen some of the major furniture manufacturers, including Interwood, basically just sell office furniture that's perfect for your house. That is what contextual marketing is about. If everyone has to work from home, let's sell our office furniture to people sitting at home, because very few people in Pakistan make a home office. We don't have that culture over here. Bahar hai. Bahar, wherever you go, you stay in someone's house, they'll have a small little office set up over there. We do not have that culture over there, and you've seen brands taking advantage of stuff like that. And you'll find more and more of them coming up with unique ways. Women are staying at home. They're not going out. They're not socializing, but they're still buying makeup. They're still buying high-end products, be it from L'Oreal or be it from any other brand. They're still purchasing because people still want to sometimes just do up their hair or do themselves up and actually feel good about themselves. Guys have not stopped buying gel. All right, I know we've all done ourselves up today. Like we all usually wouldn't look like this.
Yeah, we're like the COVID situation at this point of time.
Yeah, we did ourselves up for you guys. We're like, I hope the audience is appreciating that. But in general, people are looking for look. I just want to go out on a ride, and I just want to do myself up because I just want to feel good about myself. So brands are finding ways to capitalize on that on e-commerce.
Not only the brands, मैं सिर्फ brands की बात नहीं कर रहा. अभी मैं कुछ like I wanted to buy a toy from a boy. So मैंने कुछ brands को देखा जो बड़ी जो toy shops हैं, कुछ deliver कर रहे थे, कुछ नहीं कर रहे. So I stuck into. जब मैंने देखा तो वहाँ पे जो सदर में और जो गुल प्लाजा में जो बच्चों की चीजें बेचने वाले दुकान वाले थे, जिनकी दुकानें बंद हुई हैं, they all have shifted to their online shops. जितने भी लोकल आप शलवार कमीज वाले थे, कपड़े वाले थे, इनफैक्ट आप इस वक्त इंटरनेट खोलें, एवरीवन इज डूइंग लाइव सेशंस. वो लाइव सेशंस पे जो है कपड़ों के थान बेच रहे हैं, शलवार कमीज हो गए, इस वक्त ईद का जितना सामान हो गया जो कि मार्केटों में बिकता था, अब वो सब ऑनलाइन बिक रहा है. तो आप ब्रांड्स की कहाँ बात करेंगे जिनकी दुकानें बंद पड़ी हैं. सो दे आर ऑल्सो लर्निंग. उनको ऑब्जर्व कर रहा हूँ कि वो उनको भी शायद शुरू में इस तरह से चलाना नहीं आ रहा, किस तरह से लाइव बेचना है, किस तरह से कम्युनिकेट करना है उनको, बट दे आर ट्राइंग. So this new culture has started क्योंकि हमें एकदम धक्का मिला और हम बहुत आगे आ गए और अब देख रहे हैं हमारे साथ हुआ क्या है. So अब वो लोग भी जो कि रेडी नहीं थे यहाँ पर आने के लिए ई-कॉमर्स में, सदर में एक दुकान वाला वो भी बैठ के ऑनलाइन चीजें बेच रहा है. So that's a huge shift.
No. So definitely
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
I think पहले उमर कर लेते हैं फिर तलहा आ जाए.
ठीक है जी. So I definitely agree, and I believe that every brand right now needs to understand that e-commerce is the way forward, and the best part of it is that it's convenient. So जो लोग पहले थोड़ा सा hesitant होते थे कि यार like our human mentality is such that even when we go to a bank, when we're remitting money or we're sending money from abroad to Pakistan or anywhere, so हमारे यहाँ पे होता है कि हमें एक रसीद चाहिए, कि हमें एक एविडेंस है, हमारे पास in hand evidence है कि यार मैंने ये काम करा दिया and now it's done. So that gives us satisfaction. What like banks are doing right now, if I give example of banks like Bank Alpha, what they're doing right now is that they have completely gone digital now. और आप हर चीज जो है वो मोबाइल से कर रहे हैं. Even like Bank Alpha has even launched a mall that is online, and it's not due to COVID. वो बहुत पहले से चल रहा है. It's known as Alpha Mall. So things it's पहले हमें लगता था कि it's a bit futuristic, but now it's here. It's just that we need to understand it. We need to adjust to it. And once our consumer understands it and adjusts to it, I think this is going to be a new norm, and I think a better norm for everyone, because it comes with a lot of convenience. which is like going to bring a global change everywhere, especially in Pakistan, because it's happening around the world. If we talk about Pakistan, तो पाकिस्तान में ये ट्रेंड थोड़ा सा जो है वो लोग इससे इतना ज़्यादा जो है वो they were not very comfortable, but now it's getting in, like more and more people are even buying cycles online, और आप अपनी जो है वो हर चीज़ सब कुछ आप online कर रहे हैं. So I think it's time that every brand finds avenue and finds a way, a channel to go online and sell their products online, because that is I see it as the new normal now.
Ji, Talha.
So I just wanted to actually echo what Jibran had said. चक्कर ये कि when we talk about e-commerce, तो हमारी ऑडियंस है, हमारे लोग बहुत ही इसको कुछ ही sophisticated सिस्टम समझते हैं कि एक प्रॉपर आपकी वेबसाइट होनी चाहिए और पीछे जो है पूरा जो ना सप्लाई चेन का मेट्रिक होना चाहिए, बट ऐसा नहीं है. मैं एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ आपको. कंसिडरिंग कि हम सारे लॉकडाउन में घर से काम कर रहे हैं, वी आर पाइलिंग ऑन पाउंड्स, मैंने सोचा कि चलो यार साइकिलिंग स्टार्ट कर दी जाए, एंड आई वांटेड अ कपल ऑफ एक्सेसरीज. So I started looking out कि मैं कहाँ से करूँ. I called up a couple of big stores who have their Facebook pages and all that, but nobody was answering the phone. And then I came across this random page, but it had a lot of accessories on the page. So I called up this guy and he said कि जी बिल्कुल मैं आपको WhatsApp पे आपको जो चीजें चाहिए मैं उसकी तस्वीरें भेज देता हूँ और मैं आपको डिलीवर कर दूंगा. So I out of curiosity asked him कि अच्छा मतलब आप कहाँ बेस्ड हैं, आप मुझे ये बताएं, अगर आप कहीं करीब हैं, डिफेंस वगैरह में है तो मैं आ जाता हूँ आपके पास. तो he said नहीं, मैं तो लियारी बेस्ड हूँ, लियारी में मेरी शॉप है, लेकिन मैं अक्रॉस कराची जो है ना कहते हैं डिलीवरीज कर रहा हूँ. तो आप मुझे व्हाट्सएप पे एग्जैक्ट बता दें, मैं आपको तस्वीरें भेजता हूँ, वैरायटी भेजता हूँ, यू सेलेक्ट व्हाट यू वांट एंड आई विल पर्सनली कम एंड डिलीवर इट टू यू. सो दिस इज व्हाट एक्चुअली कॉमर्स इज, एंड इट्स गोइंग इनटू द ग्रास रूट्स, बिकॉज कि ये प्रोग्रेस जो पिछले 2 सालों में 3 सालों में नहीं हुई और अगले 3 सालों में नजर भी नहीं आ रही थी, अब वो 2 महीने के अंदर हो गई है.
बिल्कुल,
अग्री कंप्लीटली. अच्छा, एक सवाल आया है, व्हाट स्ट्रेटजी शुड दोस ब्रांड्स अडॉप्ट who rely more on customer interaction? Also, won't you think that people will get fed up with the same message again and again? Second पे तो हम सारे across the board agree करते हैं, but let's just talk about the first one, especially the brands which require a lot of interaction. So how are these brands going to manage? But what sort of brands are there जो के सबसे ज़्यादा interaction पे हैं? I believe
even
banks.
नहीं, banks तो है ही है, and banks का scene तो the good thing about banks is that they've already gone digital way before. Like पहले से digital पे वो लोग available थे. Now it's all about just getting familiar. But even things like a gym where you can't where you have
Probably,
to go
yes.
to a gym और आप एक instructor के through you learn things. Now what's happening is that people are even ordering all the gym accessories online and it's being delivered. घर पे ही लोग अपने gyms बना रहे हैं. The trainers are training online now. So it's not like there's no way. There's a way for everything to come online and be sold online. So हर brand के पास solution है, हर बंदे के पास solution है. Trainers online सिखा के payments जो हैं वो online receive कर रहे हैं. So it's possible. I think it's possible for every product.
People will just have to change, right? Like, so what would happen before is you'd walk into Carrefour to just basically look at the television and then you'd go and order it somewhere else online, but you wanted to look at it, right? You wanted to have that experience and know, but now I've seen it, right? Same thing with your car. Listen, if you're buying a Toyota GLI, if you're buying it from Indus Motors, you're buying the same Toyota. It doesn't matter where the showroom is, right? It's the same car, but people want to go, they want to sit, they want to experience. And here's where augmented reality, which I know is a little bit far away for Pakistan, which hasn't really been, and VR as well, which hasn't come here a lot. This will quicken the pace up because people who need to experience something in order to be able to have that comfort level to make that purchase decision, these options will now come to the forefront. So if I have to go buy a kitchen, but I can't go to the place where the kitchen is completely set up with like 75 other people over there, a virtual reality tour of what that kitchen would be, what kind of material it would be made from, will start becoming more and more normal.
So this actually, Shehan, brings me to a very interesting question. Earlier in the mid of the 2000 the new decade, in 2004 and 5, Coke was the very first brand which started working extensively on experiential marketing. And it made a difference in their communication, the way they started coming up with interesting activities, share a Coke with your friend, share a Coke with your partner, and they were doing it with all the experiential marketing towards the Coke side of life. And that kind of experience is gonna lose in this kind of COVID era. So is it very critical for us that one of the most quickest way of convincing a consumer that is the experiential marketing is going to go out of this? What is your opinion on that?
I think the experience will just have to change. It cannot go, right? You cannot deny experience to an audience. You cannot deny experience to a consumer. It's just the type of experience that you would be able to offer will be something a little bit more different. So now I'm even talking about your in-store experience, right? So now, for example, people will have to, where they could walk in, they will have to start booking appointments, right? So things like that will change, but you will never be at a time where you will have to change from experiential marketing. I do not believe that will happen. Your universities are going to open back up. Kids are going back to school this year, guys. No matter what anyone says, right? We'll pull it off till August, September. Kids are going back to school. We're not going to stay on online tutorials for all of this. So life will go back to a different normal, and experiential will just change with it. It will not disappear.
Yeah. Okay, that is brilliant. Iram Tapal asked a question saying, how can advertisers start educating the consumer on how to evolve their life with products in the new norm? I think that's a struggle that we are all doing as a overall situation.
It's not just a struggle. I believe that brands are already doing that. They've started doing that. They've started educating people by selling experiences like digital experiences, e-commerce experiences on TV, digital. Now every brand is communicating how you can do things घर बैठे बैठे. आप घर से किस तरीके से हर काम कर सकते हैं. अब आप घर पे you don't have to go to a bank. You don't have, right now kids are not going to schools. Classes are happening online. You don't have to go to a gym. So overall lifestyle is changing, but I think that every brand अपने ही हिसाब से every brand is trying their level best to educate their customers because it's for benefit of the client, of the brand, and at the same time it's for the benefit of the customer. They both need to understand as soon as possible and the new norm so that they can carry out transactions, buy things, and keep the thing going on.
मैं थोड़ा सा इसी में ऐड कर दूंगा कि ब्रांड्स ने ऑलरेडी स्टार्ट कर दिया है टू एजुकेट द कस्टमर्स. अच्छा, लाइक नॉट वेरी इंटेंशनली, उनकी जरूरत भी है. देयर वाज अ ब्रांड जिनकी कम्युनिकेशन जब ये सब मार्च में शुरू हुआ था, उसी वक्त उनकी कम्युनिकेशन लॉन्च हुई थी जिसमें बच्चे को जो है बाहर निकलते हैं दुकान पे जाते हुए दिखाया था. पूरी एक हफ्ते के अंदर दे हैड टू स्टॉप देयर कम्युनिकेशन, क्योंकि बच्चे को आप घर से बाहर निकलते हुए मार्केट जाते हुए नहीं दिखा सकते. So, इस वक्त वो कम्युनिकेशन दिखाना आपके लिए मुमकिन नहीं था और एथिकली भी वो इट वाज रॉन्ग. सो दे हैड टू लाइक स्टॉप देयर कम्युनिकेशन एंड ऑटोमेटिकली दे प्लेड देयर रोल इन एजुकेटिंग द कस्टमर्स कि यार भाई आपको बाहर नहीं जाना. हाँ, अगर वो दिखाते तो उसमें नेगेटिव आपकी इमेज जा रहा होता कि आपको शायद वो रिवर्स आपको जो है वो एजुकेट कर देते कि नहीं बेटा आप बाहर जाएं, आप बाहर जाके खेलें, दुकान जाए. सो जैसे जैसे कम्युनिकेशन डेवलप होगी, नॉर्म्स उसका हिस्सा बनेंगे. अब आप देखेंगे आने वाले जितने एड जो बनेंगे उसमें फिजिकल कांटेक्ट कम से कम नजर आ रहा होगा, दोस्त गले में हाथ डाले कम से कम नजर आ रहे होंगे, साथ चाय पीते हुए मैस गैदरिंग्स आपको कम से कम नजर आ रही होगी. सो दैट विल ऑल प्ले पार्ट, द लाइक स्मॉलेस्ट पार्ट टू लाइक इट विल बी द कंट्रीब्यूशन टुवर्ड्स द एजुकेशन कि कस्टमर को उसको करना क्या है. गवर्नमेंट अपने लेवल पे कम्युनिकेशन कर रही है, ब्रांड्स का जो होगा ये छोटा सा एक पार्ट होगा कि वो नॉर्म्स को अपनी कम्युनिकेशन में आहिस्ता आहिस्ता करके दिखाना शुरू करें, जो कि ऑलरेडी कर रहे हैं.
Fair enough. A very interesting question is how artificial intelligence is being used in marketing functions in Pakistan. इसका मैं बता देता हूँ. Well, there are two perspectives on which AI has been very critically used. And the most important perspective is the research data and the sentiment analysis. These are the two core areas जहाँ पे AI का influence बहुत heavy है. डेटा जमा करते हैं, प्रेडिक्टिव एनालिसिस करते हैं, ट्रेंड एनालिसिस होते हैं, फ्यूचर प्रेडिक्शंस होती हैं, ये सारी एआई के थ्रू हो रही हैं. इसके अलावा सेंटिमेंट इंजन्स बन रहे हैं जो कि ब्रांड सेंटिमेंट्स को सोशल मीडिया पे और डिजिटल मीडिया पे टेस्ट कर रहे हैं, बता रहे हैं कि भाई आपकी कम्युनिकेशन का कंज्यूमर पर्सपेक्टिव क्या है. अनफॉर्चुनेटली पाकिस्तान में बहुत कम ब्रांड्स है जो कि इस लेवल पे सेंटिमेंट का एनालिसिस कर रही हैं. मेजरली बिकॉज ऑफ द फैक्ट दैट द ग्लोबल प्लेटफॉर्म्स ऑफ सेंटिमेंट engines are extremely expensive, up to $5,000 a month or something like that. So जो अच्छे engines हैं उनको adapt करके उनके साथ brand को analyze करना artificial intelligence के ऊपर और उससे sentiment analysis निकालना is one of the most tricky things in the world at this point of time. And these are the platforms जिसके ऊपर artificial intelligence use हो रहा है. Globally, there is a perspective that is coming that artificial intelligence will replace creativity. Because उसमें ये होगा कि brands अपना brief input करेंगे और artificial intelligence आपको creative communication निकाल के दे देगी. But as in my personal opinion, for countries like the Middle East and Pakistan, where emotions are everything and sentiments are everything, I really don't think that artificial intelligence is going to cover that kind of aspect in their communication. But let's see how future is going to roll out. So that is the answer to the question for the artificial intelligence. Alwasha asks, could you all please discuss some of the areas of specialization within advertising and marketing field which will always stay in demand? that is I think the core in I can just say one and then everybody can say, but I think the core three things that the communication strategy and the media deployment, these are the three core departments which were there, which will remain here, and which will remain in the future as well. Any other thing that you think we should be adding into it, all of you?
So
I would just say, guys, learn media buying. Learn if you're interested in digital. Guys, forget everything. Like, I know, like, we have some very creative people on this call, and that's great. But I'm just telling you guys right now, if you want to be in digital, just learn media buying. It is the gateway for you to be successful here, abroad, anywhere else. Because now, more than ever, what we've actually also seen happen is that we have started getting inbound requests from London, from Europe, from USA, from companies looking to outsource work to countries like us for media buying and paid campaigns, right? They're not interested in our creatives. They have designers over there. They have pretty decent creative directors over there. They have that facility there. But $75,000 is what it costs you, is what the salary of a media buying professional is in America. That's your salary per year. Think about it and do the math. Guys, get into this field, get your credentials, and start learning media.
Brilliant.
So I just believe that when we talk about advertising, as long as there's any brand on planet Earth, this is not gonna end, because it's human psyche that we always want to be different. We don't want to be like others, and we don't want to look, sound generic. So when we all want to be different, I believe that as creatives, if you want to go for the field of creatives, I personally feel that it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Why? Because you want to be different, and that is the reason why people go for creative agencies, because we as creatives, our job is to make you look different. And as long as there are multiple brands operating around the world, every brand wants to look different, wants to look relevant, and that's what we are here for.
Well done, Mirza. always be selling.
Yeah.
I like that.
Jibran.
शायान ने जिससे पहले बात की थी डिजिटल पीआर की, दैट विल ऑलवेज स्टे देयर, क्योंकि इस वक्त जो माइक्रो लेवल पे जो आपकी जो इन्फ्लुएंसर लेवल पे जो मार्केटिंग सारी शिफ्ट हो गई है, सो चीजें वही रहेंगी, हो सकते हैं मीडियम्स चेंज होने शुरू हो। मैं आपको एग्जांपल दूंगा कि इस वक्त सबसे ज्यादा तेजी से ग्रो करता हुआ जो प्लेटफॉर्म है, दैट इज टिकटॉक। उसकी वजह क्या है कि जितने ब्रांड्स हैं उनकी मास प्रोडक्शंस रुक गई हैं, उनकी सब चीजें इस वक्त रुकी हुई हैं। सो दे वांट टू आउटसोर्स देयर वर्क टू इन्फ्लुएंसर्स जो कि घर बैठे हुए ये काम कर सकते हैं, और घर बैठे हुए जो है वो टिकटॉक आराम से बन सकता है और शायद बन सकते हैं। तो डिजिटल इन्फ्लुएंसर्स घर पे बैठ के विदाउट एनीवन्स हेल्प वो खुद शूट करते हैं, खुद एडिट करते हैं, खुद हर चीज बनाते हैं, दे गिव यू स्टफ। सो इन हालात में जो है डिजिटल इन्फ्लुएंसर्स एंड टिकटॉक जिस तरीके से बढ़ रहे हैं, सो चीजें रिवाइव होंगी, बट डिजिटल पीआर विल स्टे। क्रिएटिव्स की, मीडिया बाइंग की डेफिनेटली उनकी रिक्वायरमेंट्स चेंज होती रहेंगी। शाहान ने जो रेफरेंस दिया दैट्स आल्सो लाइक वेरी वैलिड के इंटरनेशनल मार्केट्स आप एक्सप्लोर कर रहे हैं। क्रिएटिव का जो रेफरेंस है वो डिफरेंट है, क्रिएटिव की जो एक रेलेवेंस होगी वो डिफरेंट क्योंकि क्रिएटिव जो है वो पाकिस्तान की रेलेवेंस पे काम करेगा। हाँ, अगर हम बाहर की मार्केट की बात करते हैं डेफिनेटली क्रिएटिव का वहाँ पे रेलेवेंस नहीं है। सो अपनी मार्केट में क्रिएटिव भी रहेंगे, बट अगेन डिजिटल पीआर विल बी द किंग।
I agree with you on TikTok because TikTok influencers की तो इतनी power हो गई कि भाई वो प्राइम मिनिस्टर की सीट पे जाके बैठ गए तो हम तो कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते उनके बारे में. So, Talha, what is your opinion on this?
देखिए मैं थोड़ा इसको डिफरेंटली देखता हूँ. आई डेफिनेटली एग्री विद व्हाट शेहान सेड. यू नीड टू फ्यूचर प्रूफ योरसेल्फ. when you talk about future proofing तो then you need to see के future में क्या चीजें हैं जिनके अंदर maximum potential है to become bigger than what they are right now. That is your tech, that is your digital media buying, this is your programmatic advertising and being an expert in these kind of things. But one key message is you need to identify, maybe e-commerce is your passion, so you can work on e-commerce but try to specialize in things. हमारे यहाँ unfortunately की concept है कि we try to become jack of all trades and master of none. बच्चों के दिमाग में ये होता है कि अच्छा मैं 2 साल एड एजेंसी में काम कर लूं, फिर मैं ब्रांड साइड पे जाके ब्रांड मैनेजर बन जाऊं, फिर मैं सेल्स में भी स्टेंट कर दूं, मैं सप्लाई चेन में भी स्टेंट कर दूं. होता क्या है कि आपका स्पेशलाइज स्किल सेट डेवलप नहीं होता, आप किसी एक चीज के एक्सपर्ट नहीं होते. एंड इन द वर्ल्ड दैट वी आर मूविंग टुवर्ड्स, स्पेशलाइजेशन की वैल्यू होगी. बीइंग एन एक्सपर्ट इन योर फील्ड, दैट वुड हैव द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू एंड दैट इज गोइंग टू मेक योर फ्यूचर bright and you will be able to progress and learn much more. So this is the main view that I have on this.
Zabardast. Coming to a next question, which is shouldn't advertiser take the extra step to build what the norm should be, because this isn't ending till any vaccine is available? Yes, and there is also one thing like Umer ne bhi kaha, Talha ne bhi kaha कि we don't know whether the vaccine is going to be made for this due to a lot of reasons, and the core reason is because this virus is evolving itself, and आप जो भी development create करते हैं उसको वो कुछ ना कुछ तोड़ निकालते, so we really don't know what exactly is going to happen. We, not just advertisers but also brands and normal people and the governments are as well, are in a very uncertain situation. So let's see, let's hope for the best कि किस तरह होता है. Arsh, आपका question है, what digital strategy should a consumer electronic retailer adapt? Sorry, we have to charge you for that. तो खैर इस तरह की जो चीजें हैं, if you want to be very specific, so yeah, let's take it up. Don't want to be rude to the person. So what do you think, how electronic devices are going to be promoting themselves over here? It's an open question.
It will all come down to the features. For example, consumer electronics, air conditioner or a fridge is a consumer electronic. Probably, for example, Tesla ka jo air conditioner hai, it can survive biological warfare in terms of it can filter out such kind of elements or bacteria or chemicals. Maybe tomorrow you'll see an AC manufacturer coming up with this claim कि हमारा जो filter system है हमारे AC के अंदर वो इतना robust है कि वो outside air के जितने भी chemical fumes हों या biological जो ना कहते हैं germs हो उनको filter out कर दे. So I think it can be, sorry, airborne germs, exactly. So thing is, it can't always be about discounts and offers. It has to be practical functionality as well when it comes to electronics. So I think broadly then it can be I think आप उसको फिर खुद ही देख सकते हैं कि different appliances के ऊपर different features क्या आप जो ना कहते हैं embed कर सकते हैं. But I think वो features की और जो है options की जंग शुरू होगी when it comes to consumer electronics.
Yeah, and then the other thing that we always say about consumer electronics is that the fact is that everything will break down, right? So how do you ramp up your customer support services and center in such a way that now, even in the lockdown period where no one was comfortable with having people come over to their houses, a couple of these retailers, what they actually did was they had their customers go on live, and so that they could at least diagnose the problem within these particular units, right? So there's a lot that you can do other than just a discount and a sale, right? The other thing is use influencer PR. If we've talked about it so much on this entire discussion, right, then that's another thing that you can do that's different from just putting in a discount on your products, is that actually use the influencer PR, have them shoot videos for you. And I'm not just talking about get someone really famous with 3 million fans to just say this is great. Actually get them to utilize your product. YouTube has started this amazing thing called Come Cook With Me. And it's all about being in quarantine and it's only for people who are home chefs, like they have their cameras and they're making these things themselves. So get these people to demo your products, get them to talk about it, and get yourself more credibility.
I think adding to what Shehan just said, there's one very, very critical thing that a lot of brands have started abroad and not in Pakistan, is a very tech-related thing, and it's called Internet of Things. That is the IoT.
Yes.
IoT started performing more towards the logistic businesses where you were taking care of all your logistics on real time. However, if we can be a bit creative, thinking out loud, with the help of IoT, we can actually add that technology towards our electronic devices and can fix situations, either detect the problems remotely and allow the customers to help themselves in order to fix the full problem.
Yeah.
It's just a wishful thinking at the end of the day. Umer.
Before we end this, I have one question from one of the Karachi creatives group. I won't name that person, but उन्होंने पूछा है कि Adcom और EastRiver से मुझे पूछ के बताए कि कोई openings है अभी या नहीं है.
इस वक्त ऑफिसेस क्लोज्ड है तो ओपनिंग्स कैसे होंगी?
No, so like I noticed this. There was a question before, right? Like someone had asked it like a little while ago as well about like people losing jobs and it being a bad job market and stuff like that. And like I just go back.
Let's actually talk about this.
Yeah. Like I go back to what I originally said, guys. Even in every economic depression, there will be new industries that come out. There will be new jobs that come out. Agencies, let's just say you just asked about 2 agencies, will change the way they do business. They will not stop hiring. No one will stop hiring for talent. No one can survive that way, right? But if my agency, let's just say, had 3 models of revenue, we might have to change those 2 of those models, or we might have to add another 2 models in order to survive. But whatever way we adapt, we will find a new way of earning revenue, and we will hire talent continuously. Yes, it is a bad market out there. Do not freak yourself out by what's happening on LinkedIn. I know the Kareem post, I think, is trending across LinkedIn like mad. And every guru out there has gone out and put out a post, ke bhai, if you've lost your job from Kareem, I'm here for you. What does that even mean? Like, I don't even understand what that means. What do you mean, like, I'm here for you? Like, are you here to hire, 540 employees? Because then I'm impressed, right? But otherwise, what are you there for? Like, so everyone's being opportunistic. Everyone's being a little sharky. Guys, there are jobs in the market. The economy is slowly going to open back up. But we will look for different roles. So I think just the way Talha said, please look at specializing in something. Because if I choose to focus more on e-commerce for my agency, then I'm going to look for people within that sector to fill up, because that's a new mode of revenue for me, right? If media buying for foreign brands and agencies and outsourcing that work to Pakistan is a way of me doing business, then I'm going to want great media planners and buyers. So don't be a jack of all trades. I'll go back to what Talha said. If you're currently completing your degrees, if you're currently entering the job market, please look to specialize. It has never been more important.
And what you said, Shehan, जो हम पहले भी discussion कर रहे थे before the session started, that existing jobs at this point of time, you, me, Jibran, Umer, and Talha, even Umer Qureshi as well, we don't have the balance. We are working, existing employees are working 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's no concept of rest. There's no concept of entertainment anymore. हम बिल्कुल balance out कर चुके हैं, which means in next couple of days or couple of weeks, based on everybody's individual potential, everybody's going to burn out.
No, we burnt out. I just want to raise my hand here and say I burnt out. I don't know how much you guys have left in the tank. Like, I'm about to like fall down from this sofa, right? Like, there are 2 people behind me holding me up right now.
Yeah, I mean, I make too of a chance. हमारा भी कुछ नहीं हाल है. This is going to create opportunity for the young ones. Like, for example, I have burned out so much that I'm actually looking for resources. We recently posted that on Karachi Creatives as well about looking for some animators and designers. So this is the point when you start probably deploying the roles and responsibilities to your employees and diversify their roles as well. क्या पता एक टाइम पे अगर आप एक रिसोर्स को 4 ब्रांड्स दे रहे थे, शायद इस वक्त 2 ब्रांड्स देके 2 अलग कर ले ताकि उसकी लाइफ में भी कुछ बैलेंस आए. So
and it's never been more important to have a good team, by the way. This is the time that we're really realizing what those teams were before. Kabhi kabar we turn around and be like, why the hell do we need 70 people here, right? Today, no one's asking that question on the brand side, not on the agency side, nowhere, because everyone has stepped up to such a level that it is just impressive to see. And that's one thing that I've noticed over the last 2 weeks internally. Like I've been telling my teams as well, the way they've stepped up, the way that they've applied themselves in such a trying time. Logo ka jobs ja rahe, there are pay cuts happening across the industry, right? With all of that, right? The way that they've stepped up in dedication to work till 2 a.m. in the morning, like I can't tell you like how grateful we are for that.
Yeah. So
on that note, I think, Danish bhai, I think we're way past the finish time.
Which is actually quite interesting because we are all excited even now. Thank you very much, each and every one of you, Shehan, Umer, Talha, Jibran, Umer, Qureshi at the end of the day. Thank you very much, Karachi Creatives, for this platform and opportunity for us to actually come and talk. And I personally learned a lot out of this session, and it was a great learning opportunity for me. Knowing the fact that the 6 screens at this point of time is more or less collective experience of more than 75 years. So this gives a lot of energy and the direction and vision to a lot of people. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Umer. And have a nice day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Allah Hafiz.
Okay,
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.